Hi everyone, Emma here. So I have a awesome bracelet to show you. This is a design from Allie from Potomac Beads, and it's called the Wimbledon Bracelet, and I will post the link in the description. So what I did was I went ahead and I picked from this lovely bag of beads that we just did the unboxing for, and this is what I picked. I love these. They are kind of vintagey looking, and this is what they're gonna kind of look like because they're gonna be sitting somewhat side by side. So in the Wimbledon bracelet, what you need is your first strand of netting. So this is like a right angle weave. I mean, it is a right angle weave, and you create these little boxes, and then you add a second row, and then you add your beads to this. Now in this design, the Wimbledon bracelet, it's like a tennis bracelet. Normally I would put some type of crystal-y type of bead on there, or a bicone, so that it sparkles like a tennis bracelet. But I thought for this one I wanted to create a vintage looking bead. So this is why I picked these guys. And this is going to be a really special bracelet because these are the only ones I have of this bead. So whoever guesses correctly on this bracelet will receive this one. So there you go. So she asks for 2mm. I've got fire polish. I'm not sure. I think that's what she uses, is a 2mm fire polish. But what she does is she puts these on with 15-0 seed beads. So that's what we're going to do. That's a little different from the normal tennis bracelets I'm used to. I'm used to doing 4mm pearls or 4mm crystals to add to this netting. So I went ahead and started my netting ahead of time because it takes so long to do this. Well, I mean, you get fast at this, so you could do this in about a half an hour in front of the TV. But yeah, definitely take a look at videos on how to do this, and I will be showing you somewhat how to do this when we finish adding our beads, because we are going to take this afterwards. So imagine the beads are all on the top part here. We are going to flip it, and we're going to put a right angle, one single row of right angle weave boxes on the back side, connecting these two and these two. And what that's going to do is it's going to curve it together like that and create like a roundedness, so that these guys are going to sit in a rounded way. It's going to look amazing, so trust me. I'm just guessing too. So this is the bead that we got from that. I tried to get more stuff out of that unboxing, but you know, sometimes it just works out. So let's go ahead and start. I'm going to need a few more of these 11-0 golds so that we can add our clasp. No, you know what? We'll add them later, because I did leave a strand in here for that. So let's go ahead. And I have, one of the tricks I do when I'm doing a netting like this is I will take 2 wingspans. The one wingspan I will roll up around 3 fingers, like this, roll up around the 3 fingers, and then I twist it a bit once I got that one wingspan. And then I start my bracelet and I add a stop bead. So I've already taken my stop bead off, and now I have. So I would go this way and then up this way. Now I'm back to here, and even though my thread was done, I tied it off, I still have a whole wingspan on the one piece. So I don't have to add another piece. Anyway, that's just a little trick that I do. So let's go ahead. Now, Allie starts from this side, so I'm going to go ahead and do the same. So I'm going to bring my thread through those two and try and move some of this stuff off my desk. That's my spools of Fireline. Okay, so we're starting on this side of the square. I'm just going to try and straighten these guys out a bit. There. Okay, so let's pull these out. Ooh. Oh wow, these are gonna be amazing. And let's cut this open. And I'm using a size 12 needle because I just don't want the headache of trying to get through tiny beads. And these are tiny. They are definitely tiny. They almost disappear on my mat. So I have 2 strands of 50 of these 2 millimeters, and you use up a lot on this, so you need it. She suggests 80 of those. I actually will be using 84, so I have 100 there. And that's my other strand. Okay, so let's get started. So I took 1 50-0, 1 fire polish, and 1 50-0. So that's what it looks like. And so we're coming out of, let me get this guy out of the way. I've had it flipped, so that's the one I want out of the way. There. So I'm coming out of this one. I want to go in the top end of these two, so I'm going across this way. And you're going to repeat this all the way through. Oh my god, this is going to look amazing. I haven't even put it on, I'm already like, ooh, look at that. I get so excited. There's a little kitty hair. Okay, I think I'm just going to enlarge it a bit. And I might move the mat a bit out of the way so that the background will be a light color. Okay, so this is lovely. So a 50-0, a fire polish, and we are going to go through the top of the next 2 like this, and bring it all the way through, and just that's what it's going to look like. It's weird using such small beads, but I'll get used to it, I guess. I keep thinking, oh, maybe I should change it. Try to listen to your instinct about stuff, and how many times have we gotten to the end of a bracelet and went, oh, I know I should have changed it. But then sometimes I never get started on something because I keep switching my idea. So it's best to just, sometimes it grows on you too. These are going to be beautiful. Oh, let me see. Well, especially because once we get the other side on and we round it, it will be very unique. I think this would look nice with like a ruby color one as well. So I'm going to keep going for a bit and just keep talking for a bit. Not sure where this is. My thread was stuck on something. Get that out of the way. Yeah, these are pretty small. I kind of like having I'm wondering if maybe a 50-0 seed, like the gold one, would be better than these. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to pause this and I'll take these out and I'll try it with the, you know what, let's try the next one with a 15 OC bead and see if that makes a difference. Like a gold. Just take two. Because I feel like you're seeing too much of the opening. And that's because these are clear beads. There. I think that's probably going to be the ticket for this. No, you know, I still feel that it's too, like there's too much space in there. And you can see these threads. I feel like when we get to a bigger, yeah, I think we need a bigger, like a bigger than 2mm. So let me pause it and come up with something different. These would look nice on a smaller netting. So let's pause that. Okay, so we're back. So we got these guys. These are 4mm and we got them out of that same unboxing. So there's these. Those would look awesome in that regard. Then we have these. These would look amazing too. Let me show you. So something like that. I can see these guys. So this was kind of the vintagey look that I was going for, but I think we should go totally over the top. These, I was telling you in the unboxing, when I make my leather wrap bracelets with these in the 6mm, oh my gosh, people go nuts over them. So they remind me of summer and ice cream and all that deliciousness. So I think this kind of has like an Easter feel to it too, the pastels. So I think that's what the one we're going to do. So let's put those aside. We don't need those. Let me put those back where they belong. So let's cut one of these and start adding some beads. So for this one, we don't need the, you know what, the other thing I want to do? I have such a hard time picking random colors. I'm thinking I'll do it on the strand, but the strand doesn't look that random. There's some doubles and stuff. So I might cut them both and just mix them up. Yeah, let's do that. These are the opaque luster mix, they call these guys. And I'll just show you one of the tricks that Jill Wiseman and I think a few other beaders have mentioned how to pick your beads randomly. So you get your beads together like this, nice and mixed up. Then just go along and squeeze it with your, I think Jill's quite skilled. She'll do like this and it just goes in one straight line. I need a little more pinching, but I am noticing some of these are sticking together. Let's retry that. Wow, there's a pile there. I'm going to move them around a bit. Put some more in there. Another one over there. So there goes my randomness. We'll do the best we can. Okay, so we got a bunch there. Let's get started. So like I said, we don't need the 50 O's now. So let's make sure I've got the right correct side. So let's flip that and move this one over. So I'm just going to pick up 4mm and we're coming out here, so we're going to go in here. Normally I set up, you know what, I think I might come back through here, and I'll tell you why. Because it makes it easier on your hand. So when you're adding, you're going to add here and you're going to go up. You're going to add and go up. If we were to come down here and start adding, we have to keep, and what you're doing is you're twisting your wrist to come down. So I'm going to flip it the other way. So I'll show you. So you pick up 1 4mm and go through there and pull it through like that. And pick up another, go through the next one. So you see you're coming from the bottom each time, so you're not twisting your hand. And you know what, for us beaders, we also do other things that we use our hands for a lot, and we, you know, over time, years of doing this, you're going to end up with a very sore hand, which hence I'm getting surgery for. So pick up another. I'm trying to find a comfortable way. Oh, that's the one we want here. So I'm just going to put my finger there, pull this through. That's the other one. I'm going to move that up a bit. So this is starting to look really cool. Okay, pick up another. Go through. This should go really fast. This is the fun part. It's kind of, you know, zipping it up, they call it. And you start to see everything come together really quickly. So we'll do a few of these. So yeah, tomorrow is my oral surgery. Yeehaw. Time for some drugs. God, I'm so scared. I do not like drugs at all. I remember I had a hamstring injury, and Jen took me to the emergency room. It was bad. I couldn't. I tore the hamstring at both attachments, so behind the knee and at the groin, and I could not unbend the leg. So she got the neighbor, and her and the neighbor put me in a wheelbarrow because they tried to get me to stand up and tried to use crutches and things like that, but the weight of the leg started straightening it, and the pain was excruciating. So they stuck me in a wheelbarrow. This is really coming along nice. Oh, this is gonna be gorgeous. Somebody's gonna be excited to get this. So when I was in the emergency room, the nurse said, I'm going to give you some morphine. Have you ever had morphine before? And she was going to give it to me IV. And I said, no, never had morphine, never had any drugs. So she said, let me just tell you what's going to happen. You're going to feel this really weird feeling, like an anxious feeling, and like it catches your breath. And then it's gonna, almost like it's tightening on you, and then it's gonna let go, and you're gonna relax, and all the pain will be gone. But she said, you know, I just let you know that ahead of time because it is scary for some people. So just be aware. And she was exactly correct in how she described it. It was incredible. This is, I never would have thought to put these, because I use, you know, nice rustic brown leather with these beads. Just seeing if I can adjust the light a bit. So we'll just keep going. I can chit chat with you. Yeah, talk about oh, that was, you know what, that was a bit of a disaster. I've never had any injuries, and then when I got that injury, you know, they said, okay, we're going to send you home. So a few things didn't happen. Here in Canada, to get an MRI, you have to, it has to be pretty serious. They will order an MRI for you, but it won't get done for months to a year. Yeah, it's just, there's so many like waiting lists for it. So anyway, really they should have done an MRI. There was a bunch of things they should have done. So the other thing is, they don't do anything for hamstring injuries, even though mine was really severe. And what I was told was that unless you're an elite athlete, they don't do surgery for it. So they were going to send me home, which, I mean, is fine in the sense you're kind of, I just have to point something out. I don't know if you can notice this. This one here is not faceted. That's the first time I've seen that. And actually, now that I'm looking, there are a few that aren't faceted. But you really can't tell unless I point it out. So thank you, Emma, for pointing it out. So, they were getting ready to send me home with a prescription for some heavy-duty painkillers. And I said, oh, I have to pee. So Jen was going to take me to the bathroom. And she couldn't do it just by herself. She had to get the nurse. So the nurse tried to help me. So there's two of them trying to get me on the toilet to pee. And it was so bad I couldn't sit at all. So they had to hold me over the toilet so I could pee. And the reason I tell you this is they sent me home. Our bathroom is on the second floor. How am I supposed to get up to the second floor if I can't walk on the leg? And Jen can barely manage to get me on the toilet with the nurse. So we ended up running into a lot of problems with trying to get me treated after that. They sent me to a sports medicine specialist, and he did a horrible job, and I ended up having to file a complaint with the Physicians, College of Physicians, because he made some terrible errors with my medication and with my treatment, and how he treated Jen and I because we were a queer couple. It was just a nightmare. But I said to Jen, you know, let's step back and look at this. When we were in the emergency room, that's where we started making mistakes, because she should have said, there's no way, I have a bad back, I cannot carry her up the stairs. You're going to have to keep her for a couple of days till we figure something out. And what that would have meant was I would have got an MRI right away. So they're not going to, like, they'll admit you for something like if you can't take care of yourself at home, but they're not going to keep you in the hospital without giving you treatment. So you'll get bumped up the list for the MRI, that kind of thing. So that was a big mistake we made. So now we make sure that we are vocal in what our needs are and what we're capable of, because that was crazy. I could not sit for a year. So I couldn't sit at the dinner table. I couldn't sit in a chair. It just happened we had bought a brand new couch that was a recliner. So I was able to sit in that because with the recliner it keeps the legs bent and the pressure off of the back of the leg, because that's what my problem was. This is all tangled up here. I apologize for that. Let me see if I can, there we go. This is really coming along. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up, and we'll come back and we will add the clasp, and we'll do the back side and show you how this beautiful bracelet turns out. Awesome, I'll be right back. Okay, so we are all done this part, and this looks amazing. I cannot believe there's like a luster on these beads, and it really picks up on the gold. So that turned out just spectacular. Okay, so I am over on this end here, so let's flip it over. And let me see if I can get this guy out of the way. I'm leaving this tail for the clasp. This is the first time I've tried doing, like, leaving a clasp. I think the next time I may not do it that way, but okay, so now what we need to do is create a right angle weave box, like this netting boxes that we have here, but we want to create one down the middle that's going to incorporate these two. Let me enlarge this a bit. So it's going to incorporate these two and these two, and the same in each, so those and those, those and those. So let's start by positioning I know, so we're going to come up through here. So we're actually not using these as part of the four. We're going to add two here like a brick stitch. So we'll go through those. You'll see in a second here what I'm talking about. Okay, so now we're going to pick up two 11-ohs. And we're going to go through here like this. That. So it's going to sit them on top. We're going to go through those two again, the ones we just added. Like that. And just pull that through there. Okay. Now we're going to add two. Actually, we're going to add four. This one's a bit different at the beginning, so we're going to add four. We're going to come to these two. We're going to go through these two. Just move this out of the way. Okay, so pull that in. We want it to flip inward. Now, the last two we just added, we're going to create a brick stitch with these two here. This is a bit confusing, and I found in her video, because she's using silver, it's a bit harder to see. Did I do this wrong? I did. I may have to replay what she did to see how she got. I think I might take those two out and add them after. I think that's the smarter way to do it. Put that one there. Okay, I'll take take that. I knew that was going to happen. That's not too bad. Let's bring this through here and through here. Sure, make a knot there. Okay, so let's take 2 of these off. Wouldn't be an Emma bracelet with this. Is only the first time I've done this, so please forgive me. Okay, 2 and 2. So now we're going to go to these 2 on the other side. Okay, and we're going to pull it in. Try and get these in the right position here. I can see why now it was difficult to see, because it's a bit wonky. So now I'm going to pick up those 2 and I'm going to come around this way and they will loop on top of each other like this. And that will be 4 sides of my box. Now I need to add the 2 to bring them together. Actually, what I might do to really secure it is go through this again. Like that. And I'm going to go through these 2. And then these 2. And add my final 2 on that little corner. Again, this looks really messed up and complicated, but it's just because we're getting started. Once we get started, it should be fine. Let's see if this does it. Okay, so there's our first loop. And I'm going to go under these 2. I don't know if that's the path that Allie took, but you can go and watch her video. But I'm going to do this rather than go through these guys all again. So again, you have to add 2 to these. So 1, 2. Then you're going to go through these guys. I think maybe she goes, yeah, she goes down. So let me take this out. And I think the idea is you really want it secure to your lower row. I was going to do that and then I changed my mind. Mistake number 27,000. Okay, there we go. So now we can go through these again and around. So now we have one side here, one side of our square. I'm going to pull those tight, and we're going to go through these 2 here. Then we're going to go through these guys and pick up 2. That's our tail. Pick up 2. It is starting to give it some structure, even with just those 2. Okay, so we have 2. We're coming out here. We're going to go in here. Like that. Just going to turn this over, pull this through, And we are going to add 2, and we're going to come up through these 2 guys. I feel like there's probably a quicker way to do this, but you know what, it's getting it done, so that's what counts. I didn't go through those, darn it. I was wondering why they were acting funny. Let's take these off. And let's go up through here. Those will just pop off. And through these guys. Through these. And then add our 2. 1, 2. Now we're going to end up on this side. Okay, so you can kind of see it's starting to create these squares, and it is I don't know if it's really making much of a difference in rounding it. Oh, you might see it as we move further down. So I'll do a few more. Okay, so now I'm coming out here, and I want to go down, so I'm going to come through here. Just going to pull that tight so that those middle ones are now gonna do like a brick stitch. I'm gonna add 2. Yeah, you can see it's starting to curl. That's good. That's what we want. Okay, so coming out this side, we're gonna go in this side. Okay. I'm wondering if we should just leave it like that. And then add the next 2 and then put them all together. Let me try that. So that would mean that these would be on the bottom, which we don't want. So we do have to go through these. Like that. And I'm just going to turn it so I can go through these 2 here to connect them and to get to the other side. Why'd the chicken cross the road? To get more beads. How's that sound? Wonder what the history of that joke is. There's a documentary on swear words, and they interview comedians using swear words. So this one worked out pretty good. Maybe it just takes time to figure it out. Just gonna pull it. Okay, pick up 2 to connect these guys. Like that. Yeah, I think the last one you're working on doesn't pull it together, but when you go to put the next one on, it does. So let me go under here and come up for the next one. It's one more and then I will leave you to it. Definitely take a look at Allie's. I don't know that you'll get much more than what I got. You will probably get like which is the more efficient way to create your bead path. Because I'm pretty sure I'm not following what she described. So I'm adding 2 to those 2 there, like a brick stitch. Then I'm coming back through it. Actually, I think this is how she suggested you do it, so this may be a good one here to follow. Just pull it tight, then we're going to go through, make sure you have the right ones. They're kind of getting all wonky, but they will set themselves up. So go through that one, and I'm just going to turn it. And I'm going to pick up 2, and I'm going to go through here. And pull that, and then go through the 2 I just added. So yeah, I think this is how she suggests doing it. It just took me a while to get my groove here. So I'm coming back through these 2. I could get through them. That, and then add 2 and connect it to the previous 2 like this. So it also might not be turning as much as I'd like because these beads are big. So let's see what we have so far. So that is what we have so far, and again, it's really hard to see that. You can kind of see it, and let's see if you see much difference. So here's the difference that I notice is these 2 beads on each component, you can really see them. But when you do this situation, it kind of tucks them in. And I'm almost wondering out here if I squeeze it. So yeah, there is a difference you can see. So I don't know, I kind of like this side better, but it may be just what I'm used to. So, and it's possible because I didn't use the seed beads, maybe the seed beads would highlight this. You could always go through and add something on the edge. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish this part, and I'll come back and finish the clasp for you, but it's so beautiful. But you know what, it's part of this is playing around, figuring out, changing other people's designs to be innovative and suit your own style and stuff. So we're just playing here. There's no like, this isn't a super duper crazy tutorial that's gonna go viral anytime soon. We're not going viral. Please, no. Okay, I'll be right back. Hi everyone, I'm back, and take a look. So I did most of it and it looks incredible. So it's kind of hard to show you exactly. I think what I'd like to do is at some point do this again, but this back row of the netting I would do in a different color just so you can see what it's like. It's definitely worth trying. And the other thing too is I felt like maybe the idea of going with a smaller, let me move my light here so you can see, going with a smaller bead, maybe not a 2mm but a 3mm. These are 4s, and possibly like these are 4mm fire polish, so they're a bit longer than they are wider. So I don't know, it could be the seed beads that I used as well. I feel like these guys could have kind of arched a bit more, so you don't get kind of the rounded effect as much, but you definitely get this really cool effect on the back. You could do a bracelet with just this and maybe put bicones on in these holes here and just like one. That would look really cool. So I did manage to find a simpler way to add this. Earlier I was doing like a brick stitch here. Let me see if I can enlarge that a tick. So I was doing a brick stitch on that side and on that side, and I was going through a lot of times, so out of convenience I started figuring out the best way for me. It may not be the smartest way or the best way for you, so I'll just show you. I have 2 left to do, so I'll show you and then we'll add the clasp and that'll be it. So you want to pick up, so you've got your combined 2 here, so you need 6 more, so pick up 6 11-0 seed beads. That's 5 and 6 like that, and it's basically right angle weave. So you're coming out this side, you're going to go through this side. So this part is different because in the others I was adding 2 at a time. So now I have my full 8 there to create my little square. Now I'm going to come up through these 2 here, and again I'll pull it tight because it's a bit loose, so I'll pull that tight. I want to combine these 2 here. Let me see if I can get closer. So we're coming out of these 2 up top, we're going to join these 2 at the bottom, and I think in the design that Ali was showing us, she comes back around again to join these 2. I decided to skip that process because when I go back I will be reinforcing it, so I'm not too concerned. So now I'm going to go to, so I'm coming out of the bottom 2 and I'm going to go through the top 2 on that side. I'm just going to turn it around a bit so it's easier for me to pull through, and again pull that snug, kind of squeeze these guys. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go through these 2 here up top on the side, and just those 2. Let's see if I can focus that a bit better. That's a little better. I'm just going to hang on to those guys, pull it tight, and then I am going to connect the 2 on the bottom that match up. Go through those to make sure you don't get tangled. Getting to the end here, it's starting to get a little tight. Okay, so now you've coming out of this one, you're going to go back into the top 2. So that's going to create your brick stitch and just gather everything together. There, like that. So now we're going to go through the next 2 here at the top, and we're going to add our last square. You can kind of see how they're sitting up top. And it's creating a really nice pattern. Okay, now we'll pick up 6 11-0s. So I got a nice message on one of my videos from Fire Mountain Gems, the video I did of their catalog. So I thought that was really sweet. Okay, so we're coming out this side, and we're going to go in the other side of these 2 to complete our final square. Like that. So pull this way. So again, I'm going to go through these 2 here. tight, and I apologize, this, you probably can't really see this. It's not the sake of how the video is being shot, it's just the choice of colors makes it hard because they kind of blend into each other. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Pay attention, Emma. What's that saying from The Wizard of Oz? Ignore the man behind the curtain. Pay attention to your beading. Okay, so I went through the two bottom. Now I'm going to go through the back two on top. And I also should say, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but there was an email from Peggy. Well, actually, it wasn't an email. It was her newsletter. So Peggy from Buy the Beads, I guess, posts a newsletter once a month. And this month's newsletter came to my inbox of my mail. Okay, so now I'm ready. I want to zip up the end with this. So let me try and see. Okay, there's two and there's two. This looks a bit wonky. There's probably too many there. There's 2, 4. Oh, right, because there's 4. I do know how to count. Maybe. Okay, so 1, 2, 1, 2. So I have to go through this one. There. And I'm gonna kind of do a brick stitch with this last one here. And then we'll add the clasp. Yeah, so the newsletter came out, and she did a really nice paragraph on a person from Canada that did a YouTube video, and her subscribers ended up cleaning out her store. So that's awesome. You guys did that. I think that's amazing. Okay, so you know what it made me think of? I sent her a thank you, and I said, you know, I want to thank you. I received my 2 first orders with no problems, no fees from the taxing and stuff like that. And then I was sorting through my stuff, and I came across this. These are the thank yous. So if you can count, which I can't, I guess, there's 3. That means I got 3 orders from her, not 2. So she's probably stressing, going, I know I sent a 3rd one. What happened? So I'm going to have to send her an email later and just let her know that I made a mistake. It was 3. Which also makes me realize I have no more orders coming from her. So I need to do more shopping. So this turned out amazing. So let's add a clasp. Let's do, maybe we should measure it before I add a whole bunch of beads on the clasp. So I think maybe it should be 7.5. Okay, so it's short of 7.5 maybe. So it looks like 7.25. So let's do that. So adding this will take care of that. Make sure I got the right side here. Okay, so let's do decisions. Let's try 6. So 3. I kind of want to do it thicker because we have more here. I'm just wondering how to do that. So if I put that there, okay, I'll have to go through twice, that's all. So I'm going to pick up my lobster claw. So I've got 3 and 3, and go through the bottom like this. Okay. And so in case you're wondering what I was trying to figure out, I kind of want to do 2 rows of this. So now I'm going to pick up 3 again, and then through the lobster claw. I don't know if that's going to work. I may be making this too complicated. Let's try it. We'll have to take it out if it doesn't sit properly. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's go through these top 2. That's where, and then I'm going to pick up the last 2 that I added on, or 3 that I added on. Go through those guys and through the lobster claw like that. Let's see if there, see, this is what I wanted to do, like a box. Okay, so let's make sure these guys are all down where they need to be. Okay. Let me go through the bottoms ones. Okay. And through the bottom ones again. So you can see that like that. And then we'll go up through that bottom one. And then we'll go down the top ones. So let's pull this through, make sure everything's nice and snug. Okay, and through this, I'm just turning it now, and I'm going to go down through the top ones. So the top ones are by the beads. Ah, by the beads, oh my gosh, that's Peggy's store. I'm such a gomer. Okay, this I'm trying to go through everything, but it's not going to work. So yeah, I'll go down through this. I've already gone through one of the bottom ones, which is the top. So it creates like a little square almost to yeah, I guess a square. Let's unhook this and unhook that. Okay, pull that tight and kind of squeeze it into shape. So you see how it's different. I'll take it. So I am going to go down and just go down through the other side and find a place to create a knot and weave that through. Let's go down these guys like that. And we'll put a knot here. So tomorrow is my oral surgery. So I'm actually gonna stay up and see if I can do, so this video is going to be released later on during my hand surgery rehab, but I may do another video just to release so that there's something out there for the next couple of days, because I don't know how uncomfortable I'll feel. I'm not sure if I'm going to have a reaction to the anesthetic like I have in the past, so just want to anticipate, you know, just laying in bed and chilling out. So, but I'd like to have something out there for you guys to watch, and this way, if you comment, it's awesome because it'll keep me company, because that'll be about the extent of what I'll be doing. Who knows, I might be fine and be beating up a storm. We're getting a storm tonight, by the way. It's now like 10 o'clock. Yeah, 10 o'clock here in Nova Scotia. And I think by 2 a.m. we're supposed to get snow, ice, and rain. So we're both kind of crossing our fingers that my oral surgery doesn't get canceled, because that happens. Okay, so let's cut this one. And I'll pull this off and thread the other side. This is awesome. Somebody's going to be a happy camper getting this. Look at this. I'm really curious to see if people can guess which beads I'm using. See how transparent I am. My levels of giddiness when I open my beads. Every day's like Christmas. There's a famous line from Glory when the soldiers come to rescue the southern slaves, and guy says something like, since the white man came, every day is like Christmas. Thought that was an interesting line. Okay, I'm trying to decide about this part. This part's, I find the loop isn't as, you're not messing with it as much. So let's do 6, the same as the other. I'll add 3 more. And let's go through these 2 middle ones like this. Yeah, perfect. Look at that. Okay, so let's just go through these guys. Let me see where I'm at here. Go through these a couple of times. It's only 10 o'clock, but having a hard time seeing, so maybe I am tired. Maybe it's time to go to bed. But I can't. When I get finished in my office and go downstairs, my wife's like, "Are you done